Welcome to the Ascend training. I am so excited for this last conversation that we'll be having in this free bootcamp. We are going to be talking about leading from calm power, elevating your energy, your presence, and your leadership systems for sustainable growth. In the past previous trainings, we've been talking about releasing the rush. And then we also talked about designing systems that allow you to elevate your capacity for growth. And I am delighted for this final piece, because this is the ascent phase. We are not going to be talking about the rain phase in this free bootcamp, because these three pieces alone will help you shift from, oh my God, I feel like I am the system holding it all together, to wow, I can nap on a Monday afternoon while I'm scaling to multiple six-figure wealth, and I'm doing that without guilt. I can take breaks for 3 days and not feel pressured at all for my business. So this is the final piece that allows that to happen. And in this training, we will expand your leadership capacity and ascend you into the identity of that calm, powerful CEO, the one who leads through presence, not pressure, and who leads through alignment and not anxiety. And that is the goal for today's conversation. As you know, my name is Sharon Samuel Adigbe. Welcome back. I partner with 4 to 5 ambitious, legacy-led and self-led entrepreneurs who are done being the systems. And I am so excited to have this conversation with you. So let's get right into it. By the end of this training, you will discover how to rise beyond maintenance mode into mastery, where your system now serves your calm CEO state and your energy becomes your edge. As you know, we'll be doing a lot of number of reflections during this session, and at the end I'm also going to be inviting you to how to get the partnership that gets this done, all the blueprint that we have been creating from the first training, how to get that customized for you and your legacy in 90 days or less. But before that, let's dive into the conversation. First, I want you to understand, you can't ascend into your next level of leadership while negotiating with your old one. So here's what has been happening. We've been really releasing the old things, right? We've been releasing the things that no longer serve your legacy, the things that no longer serve the business growth. We've been letting go of all of that. I've been like, goodbye, we're not having you anymore. And you've also optimized your business. You've optimized your systems. You've optimized for the leadership that you are ascending into. And so if you have done all this work in your tax and also in your business, we need to do that work in ourselves as well. We need to really own and embody our leadership so that we are not found negotiating with the old level of leadership. And right now, you have refined your systems and you've optimized your structure, but maybe your identity may not have caught up yet. And so this is the leadership gap that I see, right? It's that space between the entrepreneur who has built your current success and the calm embodied CEO who can sustain it. So it's not all about creating the structure. It's also being able to ascend into the identity of the entrepreneur who can sustain that success, who can sustain the new business that supports spaciousness, that supports ease and flow, right? Maybe your identity has not caught up yet, or you are not conscious about that identity. Maybe you have ascended into that person, but you are not conscious, right? So there are two parts to this. Your business has either evolved, but you have not caught up to the identity, or you are at that stage where you know that you are in that identity space, but your business has not caught up yet. So you're either in any of those brackets, and whichever bracket you are, there is still opportunity for us to ascend in our leadership identity. And here is what is happening. You still feel a pull to double check everything, even if you have help. Like, these are the signs that can clarify to you that there is an identity gap. You're still feeling that pull to double check every single thing, even though you have help. Maybe you have a VA, or you have team, 1 or 2 members in your team. You still feel that need to double check everything. That is a leadership identity gap. Your quiet days make you uneasy because they don't feel productive enough, right? Even if you have like a quiet day, or a day where you don't have much to do and you decide to take a day off, you still feel pressure. You still feel unproductive. It still feels, oh my God, this is luxury that I cannot afford, right? Remember when we talked about you feeling like you need to release that feeling of calm and really taking rest being luxury in the first training. So if that is still the case, if quiet days still make you feel uneasy, then there is an opportunity for us to ascend in our leadership. And also, you feel guilt resting or never stepping back, right? You feel guilty when it comes to rest. You feel like, oh my God, I don't deserve this, or this is a luxury that I cannot afford. And as though things might fall apart without you, like that feeling needs to go, because with that mindset, with that consciousness, we cannot sustain what we've already created in the business. And we find ourselves going back to that catch-up loop, going back to reactivity, because we don't put this final piece in. And also, if you crave expansion, but you keep defaulting to control, if you know you gotta trust your team more, or you know you've gotta trust your systems more, but you still find yourself defaulting to control, that is an opportunity for us to ascend in our leadership. And here's the thing, you've probably built a system. If you have been consciously taking time out, by this point in the camera blueprint, you would have built the system. And now your leadership must expand to match that. Because ascension isn't about managing system, it's about leading through identity. It's not just about being the manager, like going back to that default mode of manager, but it's about leading through your identity, through the Calm CEO identity. And every time your business grows, your identity must also evolve to sustain it, right? Now we're going to work on expanding your business and creating that structure to ensure that you can nap freely. Doing that work in your business without doing that internal work in yourself will result in not being able to sustain that, because every time your business grows, there needs to be that energy and that identity level that has to expand. You cannot grow beyond your identity. So you can't lead to your next level with your previous boundaries, with the same way that you're growing the business. And this is an opportunity for ascension. And this leads us to the Calm Raw Ascension lens. Just like we talked about the optimized lens, we also have the Calm Raw Ascension lens for you to notify to yourself and for you to really understand and clarify that you're creating from ascension. The first piece is presence over performance. You want to be able to focus more on, I get to be present in what I am doing, and not being performative, and not being like, I've got to do 20 plus things because that proves that I'm being productive, or that proves that I'm successful, that is in integrity. We want to let go of all of that energy. Also, it's about boundaries over burnout, right? You want to understand that sustaining your boundaries with yourself, boundaries with your business, and then boundaries with the people around you, your clients, your team members, and even family. These are important pieces that will sustain the structure that we are building by ascending your leadership. So boundaries over burnout is very, very key. We don't want to fall back into that identity or that thought pattern of this cannot run without me, because there is every tendency that if we don't put this piece in place, we will fall back into the identity. And also, it's about grace over guilt. a deep level of grace that comes from not just permission to do it, but understanding and conviction in your identity, conviction in who you have ascended into, conviction in the legacy that you are building. And so that is grace over guilt, not guilt that I have to nap on a Monday afternoon and asking yourself, why should I do this? Right? We give ourselves grace because you ascend not by adding more, but by embodying more of who you've become. I'm going to repeat that. You ascend not by adding more, but by embodying more of the person that you have become. And when we find ourselves not really ascending into that identity and that level that we want to exist as, when we find ourselves wanting to add more, then it's a clear indicator that we've not fully embodied more of that person that we need to become. So quick reflection before we go into the three main pillars of this ascension phase. I want you to ask yourself and reflect with me, if you stopped performing and you started leading, what would change? If you let go of that performative energy and instead you started leading, what would change? What would change in your business? What would change in not just your business, but in the way you actually even show up for family? What would change in the way you show up for your creative explorations as a multi-passionate entrepreneur? What would change in the way you show up for your kids as a mom? What would change in the way you show up for your kids as a dad? For your family, for your partner? What would change if you stopped performing and started leading? I want us to think beyond the natural result in the business and really go a step further into what could change in our life in general. Secondly, I want you to reflect on this. What belief, pattern, or habit still ties you to the identity of the over-functioning CEO? What are some of those beliefs? What are some of the patterns or the habits that is still tying you down to that identity of the CEO whose business, yes, might have evolved because we've created a structure from the first two trainings and we have let go of all the things that don't serve anymore. We've optimized what's actually working, what's actually serving the legacy, but still, you still feel like you are tied back to those former identities or the former ideology of I've got to do more and I'm still the system holding everything together. Things still have to run with me, only with me around. Right? So this is an opportunity for us to reflect on those beliefs and the patterns or even the habits that still ties us to that former identity. So I'm going to give you quick 2 minutes to reflect on this together, because this is how we start to shift in a way that really sustains the legacy and the identity on the structure that we are building for your business. So let's take 2 minutes to reflect and then we'll continue. Awesome. Good job for taking action on that. I am so excited for what this starts to shift inside you. Now, let's move to the three pillars of calm ascension. The first pillar, just like you can see on your screen, is energetic leadership. The second pillar is structural boundaries. And thirdly, we have identity embodiment. And let's go over them one after the other. Firstly, energetic leadership. The truth is that calm CEOs manage energy before they manage their time. This probably might be the frame that you need. The optimization should be for your energy. Remember, most of the conversation that we've been having have been towards this, that you should be optimizing for your energy and not your time. So calm CEOs, they master the art of managing their energy before trying to manage their time. So when you start your day in reaction, you've already outsourced your leadership. So when you start your day trying to react to, oh, this is a text I have by 2 p.m. I have another call by 5 p.m. and then I have a check-in by 10 p.m. and we are reacting to everything on the calendar without first checking in with our energy. We have already outsourced our leadership without knowing, because regulated energy leads to regulated decision making and ultimately to sustainable growth. So in this phase of energetic leadership, which is one of the core pillars of calm ascension, you want to start understanding, how can I start to create that consciousness of leading from energy first, of being able to manage first of all, then we get to master our energy, because that's what creates sustainable growth. Now let's see that in practice. What does this look in practice? I would love to invite you to look at your week and look at which blocks of time drain you and which blocks of time refuel you. What period are you feeling more energetically capable or more alive to get things done in the business? What blocks of time drain you? And then align your strategy around that data. So this is what it will look like. If, for example, you've discovered that at the beginning of the week or towards the beginning of the week, you feel very energetic, then you probably want to put work that drives more energy, that involves you being around, maybe like client work or content creation. If you're using tools like podcasting or YouTube, you probably want to realign your strategy when it comes to marketing and client generation or client support earlier in the week. And perhaps you discover that middle of the week is when you feel more energetic. Then you want to do that. You want to align your strategy around that data. Or maybe you find at the end of the week or towards the end of the week is when you start feeling more alive. Then you want to align and realign your strategy so that you are learning to manage your energy before trying to manage your time. That is how we start to ascend in energetic leadership. The second phase or the second pillar is structural boundaries. Everybody knows that boundaries is my love language. I can talk about boundaries all day long. And as CEOs, I want us to really let this sink in. Boundaries are not restrictions. They help you create rhythm. In fact, personally, I believe that boundaries serve our clients, serves our business far more than we think. Right? I have a whole playlist on YouTube where I talk about boundaries, right? I love to talk about boundaries with my clients. I create my offers in a way that respects my boundaries. I create my week. I really live my week in a way that respects my boundaries. So boundaries actually help us to serve better. They are containers for our rhythm. And there are three opportunities where we can start setting those boundaries. First of all, is the operational boundaries. What tasks or decision no longer belong to your CEO role? Remember, we talked about this in the first training. What are some of the roles that we need to let go of and really allow systems to hold them for us? So, what are some of those tasks? What are some of those decisions that you know no longer belong to your CEO role? That you know no longer belong to the identity of the person that you are evolving into? Secondly, is energetic boundaries. What are the environments, notifications, or clients that disrupt your peace? These are seemingly hard conversations, but these are where we start to shift in leadership, where we start to ascend our leadership in a very intentional way. It might take us to say no to certain clients, irrespective of how much they would pay, irrespective of how much they're paying in the container, or whatever attachment we have. It might be having to turn off our notifications, as practical as that. It might be moving from certain environments that disrupt our peace or not going to certain places that affect our peace. That's how we start to ascend in our leadership when it comes to structural boundaries. And thirdly is relational boundaries. Who or what keeps pulling you back into hustle frequency? What keeps pulling you back into that hustle energy? Maybe it's someone in the family, maybe it's a friend, and maybe if it's your partner, please do not, of course, I'm not talking about divorcing the partner. You might have to have those conversations and really sit with them. That person is a partner. But if it's a friend, then you probably want to stop relating with that person. Who or what are some of the things? Maybe it's the type of food you eat, or it's the type of movies you watch, or anything that really blocks and pulls you back to that hustle frequency. This is when we start to set boundaries around them. It's important. And so here's the reframe for you if you're like, oh my God, I really cannot do this. Your business won't hold your boundaries. Like, it's as clear as this. Your business will not hold your boundaries. You will have to be the one to make those intentions to hold those boundaries. And as CEOs, we're leading from calm. We're not leading from pressure. And so we can let go of those things. We can let go of those habits. We can let go of those people. We can let go of those clients. We can let go of that strategy. It gets to go. So quick reflection moment and embodiment moment as well. Which boundaries, if enforced consistently, will immediately create calm structure in your business? Which of the three boundaries that I've talked about? Is it a relational boundary? Or is it operational boundary? Or is it the energetic boundary? Which of these three boundaries will support you in effectively creating calm structure in your business? I want you to write this down and really be intentional about this. I'm going to give you 1 minute. We're not going to do more than 1 minute for you to just reflect quietly, and then we can continue. Ready? Let's go. Great job if you took time out to reflect. I've got to say, these are the intentional moves that we start to make to create lasting, sustainable growth, the one that allows us to freely nap consistently for the next 2-3+ years, while also ascending to the highest level of income in our businesses. If you want to sustain multiple six figures, then this is the final piece that allows you multiple six figures without the hustle, multiple six figures without having to be guilty for taking a break on a Thursday or on a Monday. This is the work that helps us sustain that even when you create it. And I'm so excited that you are doing this work together. The final phase or the final pillar of calm ascension is identity embodiment. Because here's the thing. We cannot think our way into leadership. We have to embody it. We can't think our way into calm leadership. We embody it. And we embody it with what we do on a day-to-day. Calm leadership becomes natural when your daily action mirrors your desired identity. I'm going to say that again. Calm leadership becomes natural when your daily action mirrors your desired identity. How does that identity of that calm CEO start a day? Does she wake up and go make herself a cup of tea and then goes to stare in front of the sunset? Or maybe she wakes up to pray if you're a Christian. How does she start a day? What is the identity of the calm CEO? How does that person start a day? How did that person delegate, decide, or wind down? We need to start embodying that identity. And this is the most important, crucial final step. What does that person no longer do? Because their structure already holds it. I would like you to visualize. How does that person start a day? How does that person delegate? What does that person let go of? Because you ascend the moment your actions start matching your identity and not your old pace. I'm going to say that again. You ascend when your actions start matching your identity and not your old pace. I would love to also share something called the energy leadership map. What are the different energy states that we can exist in, and how does this affect our impact as a leader? The first energetic state is the reactive energy. And what is happening here is overworking, firefighting, controlling. How that impact our leadership is inconsistent progress and a high level of fatigue. The next energy state is regulated energy. At this point, there is grounded decision making. We are assertive and we assert calmly. And how this affect our leadership? It's more creativity. We get clearer in our decisions and how we lead, and we feel more easeful. The third state is the rhythmic energy. And this is flow focused. It's a flow based focus. It is leadership that is effortless. And this is the state that we're aiming for. Because how this impacts us is sustainable growth and scalability in I can wake up to calm mornings. I can take breaks without being pressured to go sit at my work desk by 2 p.m. Like I can shut down my laptop and take a break for the whole day. This is what gets to shift. This is what gets to happen. But most seers get trapped in the regulated energy. Calmer than before, but not yet rhythmic. So perhaps right now you're in the regulated energy state. Things get calmer than before, but it doesn't translate into rhythm. They have slowed down the chaos, but they haven't fully trusted the flow. So things are being regulated. Your nervous system is regulated. You work with regulated energy. You've worked on practices. Maybe you meditate and all of those things. But because you've not embodied that leadership, you've not moved to rhythmic energy state. And this ascension work is to move from regulation to rhythm. So, quick reflection for you. Where do you notice that your leadership energy is living right now? Where's your leadership energy living right now? Is it in the regulated energy, or reactive, or rhythmic? I would love you to reflect together. Where is your energy, your leadership energy? Where is it living right now? Is it in the reactive energy state, the regulated energy state, or the rhythmic energy state? And another reflection prompt for you. What's the one practice that would help you lead from rhythm this month? Let's get started in evolving that. What's that one practice? Is it intentionally saying no to calls from clients, or setting those boundaries with your clients that will start helping you finally lead from rhythm this month? So I'm going to invite you to take just 2 minutes, and then we'll reflect. Great job. I'm so proud of the intentional moves that you are making. So let's work on integrating this. I want you to affirm with me. I am the calm leader that my next level requires. Take a pause and affirm this. I am the calm leader that my next level requires. And here are more reflection prompts from you. For you, we're not gonna work on this right now, but I invite you to write this down. Firstly, where do you still lead from effort instead of ease? And what will shift if you trusted your structure and your team completely? And thirdly, what could become possible if your calm became your company's operating rhythm? What will become possible if your calm became your company's rhythm? Good job. I am so excited for you. Now, here's what you've done this past week. You've done the deep work. You have released what's been weighing on you. You've optimized how you move through your week. You've started to ascend into the calm, confident rhythm that been waiting for you all along. But here's the truth, friend. Transformation without structure slowly fades back into survival. You've seen what's possible inside this bootcamp. You've gotten the clarity. You felt more at peace with yourself and Clara, and what isn't been working is the way it is. And you felt that power that comes from leading with intention. Imagine what would happen if this became your new normal. When calm mornings aren't a luxury, but they become your rhythm. When you can shut your laptop at 2 p.m. knowing everything still runs. When your business grows, not because you're pushing, but because your systems, your team, all your VA, and your energy are finally working in harmony. That is exactly what we create together inside the Calmfident CEO Accelerator. This isn't another training. It's a 12-week guided partnership designed to elevate your CEO status and help you scale to multiple six-figure wealth without being plugged in 24/7. Here's what's going down inside the accelerator. We will design your 4-day work week that supports both profit and peace. We will build your operational ecosystem, or we will optimize and refine your existing ones. Your automations, your workflows, and even your team flows, your SOPs, so that things finally move without you. And finally, we will anchor your leadership energy into structure so that you can ascend into a rhythmic energy state and your presence become powerful, not pressured. And this is where you stop managing your business and start reigning in it. So let's talk about what's really at stake here. For most entrepreneurs I work with, that hidden cost average at least $3,000 a month. And that includes cost of missed opportunities, cost of burnout recovery, cost of simply time that could have been spent creating, leading, or just resting. And the Calmfident CEO Accelerator is just a small investment, but what you gain back is clarity, structure, and time freedom that will multiply far beyond that, far beyond the investment you make. And here's what's waiting for you when you join. Deep, personalized consulting designed to refine your operations, systems, and leadership rhythm in a 90 to 120 minutes strategy session, one-on-one strategy session, bi-weekly strategy session. Weekly private chat coaching in between sessions and even after your strategy session period of 8 weeks, you will have private access for real-time direct feedback, CEO guidance, and accountability with me. And finally, you have your Calmfident CEO operating rhythm by the end of the accelerator. This will be your personalized blueprint for calm leadership and sustainable productivity. And here are also bonuses that I have added for you if you join. First of all is one-on-one SEO yearly planning strategy session. Is a $250 value where we'll map out your 2026 rhythm and quarterly focus together so you can step into the new year calmer and clear. This is going to happen in January, even before we start our work together. If you join before November 30th, you will be able to claim this bonus with any of the investment plans that you choose. Also, I have a birthday gift for everyone who pays in full before November 23rd, end of day. My birthday gift is your system optimization VIP day, where you refine your automation, will simplify your backend, and will streamline your operations so your business runs smoothly without you needing to play catch up. We will be focused mainly on your system and how to refine it. You will walk away with a clear pathway and refined systems for your automations, your backend, and I'm going to give you a working document to help. This is only for those who pay in full before November 23rd, end of day. And these are other things that you will also be receiving access to when you join the accelerator. You will get ongoing access to resources, templates, and trainings through your 1-year access to the Calmfident SEO Vault. This will help you sustain your new rhythm long after our 12 weeks together ends. Plus, this is an exclusive pay in full bonus for anyone who decides to pay in full irrespective of the time you join. I will be adding on an additional 8 weeks of private chat coaching with me for continued accountability and support as you integrate everything we have built together. So the total value of what's included is way over $2,000 in bonuses alone. But the real transformation is the way your life begins to breathe again. Imagine knowing exactly what to focus on each week. Imagine making strategic decisions without being exhausted emotionally. Imagine having systems so solid that you can take a 3-day trip midweek and come back to progress, not problems. This is the reality of a Calmfident SEO rhythm. And if you felt something shifting during this bootcamp, that quiet knowing that says, this is what I've been missing, then this is your invitation to continue this journey. The next level of calm, confident leadership is waiting, and I will be so honored to work with you inside the Calmfident SEO Accelerator. I will be honored to design the business that finally supports your life and does not interrupt it. And I invite you to come join us. Click that button below or visit the link sharonadikwe.com/CCA. You've already built success through effort. Now let's build sustainability through ease. And this is what we do inside of the Calmfident SEO Accelerator, because your business should expand at the pace of your rhythm and your peace. And I'm so excited to be able to support you inside of the accelerator. Go ahead and click on that button below to learn more, to invest right away, or if you would like to chat with me to clarify for final clarifications, I've also left the link to book your call. And you're also able to unlock all the bonuses depending on when you join. If you join before November 30th, 2025, you'll be able to also claim the one-on-one Calmfident SEO yearly planning strategy session, irrespective of the payment plan that you join with. And also you'll be able to get my birthday gift to you, a system optimization VIP day, a $950 value, where you will receive an exclusive VIP day where we'll refine your automation and simplify your backend. And this is for if you join on or before November 23rd, which is my birthday, end of day. And you also get access to other bonuses, included the 1 year access to the Confidence Vault and the painful extra 8 weeks of private coaching if you join us. I'm so excited to be able to support you inside the Confidence Accelerator. And I know that this is the space that your next level identity is craving that you invest in yourself through. Thank you so much for joining me in this bootcamp. I cannot wait to continue this with you in the accelerator. And I look forward to hearing your amazing transformation as a result of taking action in the bootcamp and as well in the accelerator. Thank you and take care.